to this. Hey guys, I just got in something really cool from Moto Machines in today. Thank you very much, guys. Check this out. This is a belly pan, and it is paint matched for the FZ09. Now let's check these out. It's a 3-part system. We've got the paint matched side panels, and these go basically where the underside of the exhaust goes, as you saw in the start of the video. And then this piece goes right up at the nose to tie them together. Probably something like that. We've got a bag here of goodies. All the fasteners and grommets and instructions. So, looking at the quality, have to say, really impressed. When I get in aftermarket parts, especially plastic, I never expect them to match 100%. This appears to possibly even use the correct paint. It is a 2-part paint system. The paint on here, it goes under multiple names. I have 2 bikes with the same paint. On the FJR, the official paint name designation and code is Deep Red Metallic. The same paint code is used, Deep Red Metallic, for this 2017 FZ09, but they call this many different names depending on where you look. The marketing name of this was called Candy Red. I've seen it called Flame Red. On this website, they call it Lava Red. And it was only looking into the actual part name designation that I found the paint code that they were using internally, that I knew it matched Deep Red Metallic. So I knew they were all going to tie in the same. It does appear to be a black cast part, or molded part I should say, and actually painted. And it does have a clear coat, exactly like OEM. And here's an OEM plastic piece. It's a match. It is a 100% match. So, very impressed. It's not absolutely perfect. There are slight imperfections if you get down and really scrutinize it. Where did I see these? I was just looking at these. There were just a tiny little couple flecks under the paint. Now I can't even find them. But anyway, the point was, unless you're right down on the ground, staring and looking in just the right light, you're not going to see them. So, very impressed. Oh, there's one. Okay. So if you look, let me get right there in the light. All right, so you can see there's a tiny, tiny, tiny little imperfection in the paint. But again, unless you're staring right at it down on the ground, you're never going to see it. And these are probably going to pick up rock chips anyway. So that's it. I would say 99% OEM quality. And speaking for aftermarket part, that is absolutely phenomenal. The plastic quality is very thick. There's no flex. They're absolutely rigid, exactly the same as any OEM plastic. So it is quite thick. No worries there. Let's go ahead and get them installed. Should be pretty easy. So we got everything laid out here, pretty straightforward. We've got some brackets that will install to existing engine bolt locations, mounting grommets, washers, screws, etc. Now these grates here are silver metal, and they are for the little fake intakes at the bottom, and they are optional. I already know I do not want them on the bike. There's no way I would want silver on the bike like that. Maybe if they were black, but I don't think I'm going to want anything there. That should look just fine. And also note, they need to be custom cut out with snips and siliconed in place, and they don't provide any kind of template or silicone. So just be aware there is some work there if you want those in your system. Now the instructions do leave a lot to be desired. Usually they're Chinese parts and you get Chinglish instructions. Well, this is a French company and the instructions are Frenchlish. Let's just say there's something lost in translation. But the photos are pretty clear. they show where to put the brackets, and they basically give you a couple warnings that this is only for a stock bike, meaning the exhaust pipes. Now I've got the Yoshi pipes on here, and they hug the engine nice and tight the same way stock pipes do. Other systems, however, do not, and they'll come out way out straight, and I frankly think they look like crap. I love how these hug the engine, but if yours are going to stick out farther, it may or may not fit this. So just be aware of that. I have no idea what other exhaust systems are going to fit, and they do say that you may have to manually bend these brackets to get everything to fit if you have any other kind of system on there. And they say don't try to bend them if you have the parts attached to them. So that's just the fine print warning they give. And they also say if you've tried to fit it to the bike, no exchanges or returns are accepted. So just be aware, you really have to want it, and you have to be sure it's going to fit your bike. This also says it fits the FZ09, the MT09, the FJ09, and the XSR models all years. So that's cool. So I'm going to go ahead and just get it fitted, and I'll show you guys what I did. So the first thing I did is remove the little branded stickers. Luckily they came off very easily, but unlucky if you actually like them, they wouldn't have survived even a few washes, just really thin paper. Now the first step here is you have to remove the metal bushing out of all of the rubber grommets, and then install the rubber grommets onto the parts. It's easiest to do it from the inside, and then you reinstall the bushings to the outside of the grommets. So here on the right side of the bike, we need to remove 2 bolts and install these brackets. Now on this bracket here, bend it out a little bit, because as supplied straight, it will contact this plastic piece and scratch it. So just bend it out a little bit. And we need to leave these loose because we need to install the part and make sure the alignment is good before we can snug these back down into the proper position. And there's the part fitted. Everything is still loose. We still need to have this move so we can fit in the central piece and have everything aligned. Then over on the left hand side of the bike, you need to move the 2 fuel vent lines out of the bracket, and this mount bracket goes here on this oil pan bolt, and then this one over here on the stator cover bolt, again loose. And now we'll go ahead and fit the part. And what I found with this one here is there's no clearance left to get to that oil pan bolt once you have the part installed. So go ahead and eyeball it, get it nice and straight. It just goes straight out to the side, and then tighten it down first. And the same goes for this one over here. Just get it aligned. You can slightly snug up that bolt so the bracket doesn't move around once you get it in place, and then just take the part back off carefully and snug those 2 engine bolts back down so it doesn't move. The other side has plenty of room. Alright, got this side all snugged up. Luckily, with the 2 brackets being perpendicular to one another, it can only go in one position. So that worked out just fine. Now for the centerpiece, you got to prep these by just installing a plastic washer on each of the mounting bolts. They go from the bottom, and the lock nuts will go on the inside. This is installed with 2 different ways holding it. The nuts and bolts on the bottom, and they go to the 4 bolts on the side pieces, and then there's self-adhesive. Looks like 3M, same as the GoPro stuff, so that will hold just fine. Up on these more vertical stays, and they go to the inside of here once we get it in position. Now, you definitely need this if you're thinking, well, just leave it like that if your exhaust doesn't fit. Definitely not an option. These are very flimsy without anything installed. So you can see there's not too much clearance left here if you do have one of the exhausts that comes straight out. I'll get this fitted a little bit here. A little hard with one hand. So there you go. You can see the Yoshi fits no problem. Stock, of course, it drapes the same way. Is going to fit no problem. But that is about it. So you'll have to either figure something out or not use it if you've got something that will be in the way. You can see there's hardly any clearance there. So it really is meant for a stock fitting exhaust system. So that's the only thing to caution you guys about. So I'm going to go ahead and install the rest of this, get it bolted up, stick these down, snug the other side, and we'll see how it looks. And got that side all snugged down. Now a tip when doing these nuts and bolts, don't go crazy. You want them tight enough where the assemblies aren't spinning and moving, but that's it. There's no metal, so you don't want to go so tight as to crack the plastic. And here's my little quick tip. Get yourself a little black touch-up paint, and the bolts disappear. That looks absolutely fantastic. That just finishes the bike. Look at that. Totally transforms it. If you're a fan of the Street Triple RS like I am, you've been jealous of the belly pan for a while, and I certainly have. That just works. That is so sweet. The lines are just completely changed with such a simple part, and I like how it looks stock. It's not some weird transformer looking part. The lines, the paint, everything looks like a Yamaha part. That is just fantastic. Really makes the bike look more high dollar with just that little change. So there you go, guys. I'll put a link below to where I got it. It's not an affiliate, it's just where I got it. Definitely give them a shout. If you have any questions about fitment or color, they'll be more than happy to answer them for you. And thank you very much, guys, for sending it in. Really appreciate it. That is such a dramatic difference. So there you go, guys. Hope that helps somebody. See you next time.